Hey guys, welcome to 8th grade social studies. This is the official starting PowerPoint. So way to go for getting to the lesson for the day and clicking on the first objective. High five. So I'm really excited to be your teacher this year. I've gone ahead and put the live learning times on this PowerPoint in case you haven't looked at your calendar yet. If you're in section 1, you and I are going to have class every Thursday at 9. If you are in section 2, you and I are going to have class every Wednesday at 9. So we hang out at 9 o'clock on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Here are the objectives, kind of our to-do list for this little getting started PowerPoint. We're going to talk about what we're studying this year, how to get around the class, my expectations for you as 8th graders, and class policies and procedures. So I hope that with today you kind of gain a general understanding of how to get around for social studies and what you need to rock this class. I know we've watched a lot of videos this week about school and we're almost to the end, but we want to get you guys as informed as possible so we all have a wonderful year together. So, who am I? Probably the first thing you're wondering. I know I've had the pleasure of having some of you guys last year as 7th graders, and hopefully you enjoyed at least a part of it. I know I loved teaching you guys. I'm excited to teach you again. I am the 7th and 8th grade social studies teacher here at PA Distance, and I also teach a couple high school classes. But those are ones for the older kids who have finished all of their social studies requirements. So psychology and economics, that's mainly like 10th, 11th, and 12th graders. So, the big kids. This is my second year at PDLCS, and I'm excited to be back. I know it was a really fun first year, and I really enjoyed it. And with year 2, I'm hoping to only make things better and really help you guys to learn all you can about social studies. A couple fun facts about me. This is new to the intro PowerPoint for this year. I live in Pittsburgh, and I love watching the Pittsburgh Pirates play. I am a really big baseball fan. I know we have some sports fans out there in this class, and I live pretty close to the city, so I get to go down and watch the games a lot. I went to one this past Thursday, and I've got a couple coming up in September too. They're my favorite team to follow. I have a 2-year-old dog named Sirius. He is a lab beagle, so he's really tiny, he's really cute, and he likes to get into trouble sometimes. When I'm not teaching or working on things or helping you, I am reading, cooking. I love watching the Food Network too. Hiking on the weekends with Mr. Devlin and my dog, or training for a race in Pittsburgh. I've discovered recently that I really like to run. I'm not very good at it yet, but I'm learning. And I'm hoping to run a longer race in May with maybe the half marathon. So here's some pictures about my life when I'm not at school. As you can notice, a lot of it's outside. That's Mr. Devlin and I on the left with our puppy Sirius. We went hiking over the 4th of July weekend out in the middle of the state. For those of you who live near Williamsport, that's where I was. And we took the pup with us. That's a picture of Sirius's face in the middle. In case anybody was wondering what he looked like, I know some of my repeaters were. And on the right, it's a race that I ran this past summer in Pittsburgh, where everyone who finished got a medal, and I was really excited about it. And that was also the fastest race I've ran so far. So, what are we studying in 8th grade social studies? In 8th grade social studies, we take a strictly historical approach. You guys are going to be my historians this year. We are going to examine the history of the United States from the beginning, from when the ancient people crossed over the land bridge into North America to the Civil War era. We're going to end things right after the Civil War. And there are 16 units in 8th grade. This is a full year class again. It's a nice part about middle school. You don't have to worry about your classes changing or anything. And we'll be graded on assignments, quizzes, assessments, and discussion boards to help get that grade where you want it to be. And as a tip to get started, I really recommend that everyone be organized. So if you didn't do this last year, if you're new to our school, go ahead and make sure to get on your Google Drive sometime today and make a folder for each class so you can put all your material in it, much like you'd have a regular folder at a brick and mortar school where you'd take out your homework from it. We just make it digital. So what kind of assignments are we going to be doing in 8th grade? We've got readings, we've got vocabulary assignments, we've got tests and quizzes, some discussions. I've put in some more Google Forms this year, which are little surveys that you take, and I see the results, so we're going to use those too. We're going to look at videos, and we're going to have some projects. I know that in 8th grade you're going to do something about the South before the Civil War. We're going to take a look at Jamestown, the first American settlement, and we've got a lot of fun stuff coming. So, some of this might be old news, but just in case you don't remember anything from May, or if you're brand new with us, welcome by the way. The school system homepage. This is the system that you'll use every day to access class. Your mode of access is a little different this year because of the whole calendar being on your email thing, but you'll still see this page, and you click on a course title to open the class. This is what the main page for social studies looks like. I added some pictures and a banner and stuff like that to make it look cool. But a really big change that I want you guys to know of is the course calendar. And Mr. Kachuba did an amazing job with the orientation videos this year. And I wanted to make sure that you have been able to access your Gmail and you're really comfortable with getting around on there. Because you're going to get to your classes and your live lessons on Gmail this year. Please don't hesitate to private message me, email me, Gchat me, or any of your other teachers if you're having issues with this still. We are here to help you guys, and we want you to have an amazing year. And really knowing the technology and being able to work with the technology will help the year be even better. Promise. So this year the calendar is visible via Gmail. If any of you did a Google Hangout with a teacher, it's going to look very similar to that. Let's look at the calendar together. So, how do you get there is the first question. Where's the work? To look for your work and live lessons, go to your Gmail account and access the calendar. This is where you're going to go to your work every day. So to get to your Gmail calendar, on your school Gmail account, there is an icon in the top right corner that has 9 little squares. What you're going to do is click on it, and it's going to give you some different options. You need to click on the one that says calendar to see your calendar. Now, if we're moving on and looking at a week in the life here, once you've looked at your calendar, you may see something like this. At the top of each day is going to be your lessons that you need to complete. Remember how in the calendar from last year, it kind of had SS, science, language arts, all those items on that calendar? This is the same way. But what you need to look at is you need to look at each lesson for the day. This is what my week looks like. These are for all of my social studies classes. But we're still using the same abbreviations and everything from last year, so all of your social studies classes will have SS next to them. I would really recommend color coding your classes. You've probably noticed that your calendar's changing around a little bit because your teachers are adding things because we're getting ready for you. But they're all going to come in the same color. So I would really recommend picking a color for each class and color coding it. I'm happy to help you with that if you want to do that. Message me today. For example, I've made everything in 8th grade green for myself. So how do you get to your classes? If you click on the lesson for the day, you're going to see the following. So you see SS 1.1 Course Orientation. Click the link below to access your social studies lesson for the day. Click the link and you go right to your lesson. If you have any questions regarding your classes and how to get there, contact me ASAP. I will show you how to do it on a screen share. Live learning is on here too. It's not going to be in the same spot. So on a day you have live learning in social studies, you're going to have two things that say SS next to them, or LLS. So your links to your live learning classes are going to be right on your calendar for the time that they start. So for 8th grade social studies, it'll have 9 a.m. section 1 on Thursdays and section 2 on Wednesdays. Click the link and you'll be able to get right into the class, easy as pie. Here's what that looks like. You'll notice it looks really similar to the assignment for the day. So click the link below to access live learning. Let me know at any time if you have issues doing this, if a link doesn't work, or if something just goes wrong otherwise. You guys did a great job of that last year, and I'm always willing to help you. And if it's my fault, we'll get it fixed. So you'll click on that link and go right there. And for those of us who haven't seen the live learning site before, make sure you're clicking that launch class button on the appropriate date, and it'll take you exactly where you need to be for class. I would really recommend logging in probably around 10 minutes early just to make sure you are all set to go, and so you can complete your Jumpstart activity and get your credit, because we like points. Some tips for live class, guys. Log in early. Activities start 5 minutes before class. The way this goes is at 8:55, I'm going to put a starter activity on the board. If you contribute and if you try it, I will mark it down, and this is called the Jump Start. It will help your participation because if your grade is close to another letter at the end of the quarter, I will bump it up if you are doing jump starts regularly. So if you end up with an 88% in quarter 1 and you're doing your jump starts, you're going to get a 90 for quarter 1, which is an A instead of a B. Follow the instructions in the orientation videos to make sure you have your microphone and video capabilities enabled. Guys, we're going to be talking and using our videos in class this year. That's something that's very important to me, to make sure that we are communicating with each other. I think we've all got the text chat part down wonderfully, and it's much like being on a cell phone if you haven't done it before, but we need to expand on that. Follow along and participate in class. This class is for you, so I want you to take advantage of it to be a great historian and learner and do well. So this concludes the first portion of my orientation video. There's going to be a second video that I need you to watch that will talk about the rest of the things we need to go over. And then you'll take a quiz on it, and you'll be done for the day. Wahoo!